Hello, magical people, and welcome to a weekly energy check-in reading. This is going to be a pick a card reading, and it's going to be, I'm kind of been thinking a little bit of a fractal energy reading. And by that, what I mean is we are going to be having 4 readings here, so one for each of the elements: air, water, fire, and earth. And then within each of those 4 readings, we are going to be looking at those 4 elements. So for air, we're going to be looking at what you're thinking, what's going to be coming next into your thinking realm, and advice from your guides. Within the realm of water, we are going to be looking at what are your feelings, what's coming next in that realm, and what do your guides have to advise. With regards to the element of fire, we're going to be taking a look at the things that make you feel passionate, that make you feel engaged and motivated. And again, what's coming next and what your guides have to say about it. And then with pentacles, we're going to be taking a look at what you're actually doing. And again, what's coming next and what your guides have to say about it. So you're more than welcome to pick 1, 2, 3, or 4 readings. You can use any metric you'd like to choose which elemental reading you are going to go for. And of course, as always, please take what resonates, leave the rest, and remember to follow your own guidance and intuition at the end of the day. Let's see, what else have we got here? Channel updates. There will, at some point soon, be a channel update video that comes out wherein I talk about the details of how to get a private reading if you would like to have one. So stay tuned for that. And please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help a lot. I wouldn't even pretend to understand the algorithms, but it does seem to help a lot when people thumbs up those videos. So if you could do that, that would be terrific. If you have comments, of course, I'd always love to hear from you. And if you have suggestions for future readings, then that would be welcome input as well. So having said that, we are just going to go ahead and dive right in. We're going to be going in the order of air, water, fire, and earth. So air will be reading 1, water will be reading 2, fire will be reading 3, and earth will be reading 4, and there will be timestamps down in the description below. Having said that, we are going to jump right in here. Group 1, my friendly aeronauts. If you selected air as the element for your reading this week, then this, in fact, is your reading. So we are going to be looking at a variety of things here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We've got the, okay, oh, all right. So in the element of air, which is what we're thinking about, your current energy is showing up as the Child of Spells, which is otherwise known as the Page of Wands. So there's something new that's caught your attention that is inspiring you and bringing curiosity to you and bringing a desire to have a little bit of fun with it. Like there's a new thought that you've been thinking, or a new series of thoughts or thought process that you've been having lately that almost feels like you're kind of a student to it. Like it feels very new, and it feels like you need to like you've just moved into it, and there's going to be lots of opportunities for you to learn. Energy coming at you is the Weaver of Visions, which is the Queen of Cups. And so I see that you're going to be moving with whatever this thought is, or whatever this idea is, or this way of thinking is. You're going to be moving from that page energy into the Queen energy. So there's an opportunity to really get a lot of learning under your belt. And it's interesting that it's also moving from the Page of Wands to the Queen of Cups. So there's some emotional truth in the way that you're thinking that's going to be coming your way. It's still very nascent, but coming towards you, it is going to be maturing into a better understanding of your own emotional truths. And the advice that your guides are offering for that is to embrace the Empress energy. So to really be kind and gentle and compassionate with yourself, and to treat this new idea. I think it's actually kind of interesting here because, like, so with the current energy, we have the Child of Spells, and then with the advice from your guides, we have the child being comforted and being cared for and being nurtured here. And so I really feel like the advice from your guides with regards to this new idea to help you move from that child energy into that queen energy of like mastery and understanding and having had a lot of learning and understanding under your belt, your guides are really inviting you to show up with kindness and show up with compassion and kind of like mothering your own internal child in a way. And if you want to think of this idea or this thought as the child that needs the nurturing, then that's fine. If you want to think of it more in the abstract way of nurturing your own inner child so that your inner child feels comfortable expressing these new ideas and getting comfortable with them, that also works too. Now, with regards to the water realm, we have your current energy showing up as the Two of Challenges, otherwise known as the Two of Swords. So it feels as though maybe there's a little bit of confusion here, that maybe there's a little bit like you feel like you're not really sure that you have the answers, or it feels like you need to make a decision, but you're not exactly sure how to do that. And the energy that's coming towards you is the Eight of Boons, which is the Eight of Pentacles. So it's really about doing the work. It's about showing up and continuing to put in the effort. And it's interesting because the advice from your guides is the Four of Visions. So it's kind of funny here. So we have you with this trying to make a decision, trying to come to an understanding, or trying to calm an internal conflict that you're having. And it feels like you're throwing a lot of work on it. You're going to be throwing a lot of work on it. And what your guides are saying is, hey, you've already got the answer, friend. You've already got the answer. You're just maybe looking in the wrong direction. And so all of the information is there. Your guides are inviting you to understand that even though it feels like you can't make a decision, maybe it feels like you don't have all of the information available to you, that's actually not necessarily the truth. It's more that maybe you need a little bit of a perspective shift. So it's not necessarily that you actually need more information in order to make this decision in the realm of water, in the realm of your emotions. Just that maybe you need to have turn your head and kind of take a look at what's in your peripheral, because like this guy is so focused on what is right in front of him that he is missing everything else that's going on around him. Now, in the realm of fire, which is our motivations and our passions and our inspirations, the current card that's coming up is the Five of Boons, which is a little bit of, it's that energy of lack. So maybe you haven't been feeling motivated lately. Maybe you've kind of been wondering, why you aren't feeling motivated lately. And the energy coming towards you is the Seven of Challenges, the Seven of Swords. So this is that energy of reclaiming what was taken from us and reclaiming things that are rightfully ours that we either gave up or didn't realize were rightfully ours. So I do feel like you're going to be reclaiming your power in this realm. And the advice that your guides want to offer is the Four of Spells. So having a little bit of solidity, having a little bit of balance, trying to bring balance to the situation, because sometimes when we go into this, or when we come from this energy of feeling like we are lacking in some way, then the pendulum swing can go the other way, and we can end up reclaiming things that maybe aren't even necessarily ours. And it can kind of be that energy of like moving too far from one to the other. And so your guides are advising you to try and find a happy balance in the middle of those energies. That Four of Wands energy is really about merging our inspiration, merging our motivations, merging our passions with having a stable environment so that those passions can really thrive. And so, your guides are inviting you to, if you do feel like you're moving into a pendulum swing, your guides just want to bring your attention to that so that you can take steps to work towards a state of balance rather than a state of disbalance where things are fluctuating from this to that. Now, in the realm of Pentacles, let's see, we've got your current energy is showing up as the Liar, the Devil, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're going about spreading a bunch of lies. A lot of times what this can mean is that we are lying to ourselves about something, or we are maybe having a little bit of disillusionment in the way that we are viewing things or the way that we are doing things. And this can also mean an over-attachment to addictions or unhealthy behaviors. So that's what's showing up in your current energy. And then energy coming towards you is we have the Tower. So if this is a situation where you've really been like say there's an addiction of some sort that you've been struggling with, I do see that things are going to be coming to a point where they will need to be addressed. And this could also be unhelpful thought patterns within ourselves. So if you've got a lot of internal back talk that's coming, that's very like self-abusing in a way, then you know, this is going to be coming to an end because it has to. Those negative thought patterns, when we are on a healing journey, when we are on a growth journey, and those things get pressed, then that is our invitation to go ahead and deal with them. So even though the Devil card and the Tower card sometimes have some negative connotation to them, and it definitely doesn't mean that everything is going to be super easy peasy. You know, I really do feel like the universe will present these things to us to allow opportunities for us to learn from them. And the advice from your guides is the Seeker of Boons, which this is the Queen of Pentacles. And she is a healer. I mean, look at her there. She's harvesting herbs in the woods so that she can then allow that healing energy to come out into the world. So your guides are inviting you to use this opportunity of moving from the Devil energy into the Tower energy to allow the healing to happen, that this is being shown to you for a purpose. So now, aeronauts, before we go, we are going to get just a final few oracle cards with some additional advice or things that our guides would like to keep our attention on or bring our attention towards. So first we have here contact, and then we also have love matters. So I feel like the invitation from these two cards is, again, particularly in the Pentacles realm, if things are feeling overwhelming, then, you know, reaching out, making contact with those people that are in our support group and recognizing that the love that we share with others does matter, and that it's not all about us showing up for other people. Sometimes it's about asking other people to show up for us when we're experiencing difficulty. So there's a give and take. But either way, regardless of who's giving and who's receiving, love always matters. In my opinion, love is the energy that fuels the entire universe and everything that happens. Now, as a final oracle card, we have an animal oracle card. And this is going to be just, again, just a message from your guides asking you to keep something in mind. And we have here the rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. And I think that that's really important that they're pointing that out, because sometimes it feels like when challenges are coming towards us, or there's a lot of change happening, or there's something that we need to shift within ourselves or the way that we behave or think or whatever, that can feel like it's an unlucky time. And your guides are just asking you to remain open to the notion that even challenges that thrown at us can be lucky, because those challenges force us to look at things in a different way, which allows a whole lot of new growth to happen. So, air friends, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found it inspirational and that it resonated for you in some way. Please feel free to leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to share. I look forward to seeing you next time, but until then, please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. Hello, magical water friends. If you selected the element of water this week, then this is in fact your reading, and we are just going to go ahead and dive right in. Like I said, we're going to be looking at all 4 elements within your space. Take a sip of water. I can feel my voice starting to get gravelly already. So we're going to be looking at your current energy coming at you, and advice from your guides. Okay. All right, so starting off here with the element of air. So what I see is that you're currently, with regards to your thinking, you're in a place where you are reassessing something and you're trying to decide which door you're going to go through next. And like, it's that knowing that there's opportunities available to you and that there's a little bit of a reassessment needed before you can decide which path you want to go next. So it feels like right now you're recognizing in terms of thoughts that there's a lot of potential available to you. Yes, that's right. I have 2 drinks right here. I came prepared for this reading. Now, the energy that's going to be coming towards you with regards to the air element is the 4 of Visions, which is that the universe is trying to gift you a new emotional truth with regards to the way that you think, and that since it's showing up in your periphery, there's a little bit of apathy. You're looking right ahead and you're not really seeing it. So that's going to be the energy coming towards you. And it's interesting because it feels like, you know, you're in this place where you're wondering, and then the answer is going to be right there, but you might have a hard time seeing it. And so what your guides are inviting you do in that case is that you reach into this Hierophant energy. And the Hierophant can be you know, it's usually, well, sometimes it's a person, so it can be an actual teacher, but it really is represented by ancient wisdom. And what that looks like can be different for all of us. But sometimes this can be reaching out to an elder, reaching out to a mentor, reaching out to a teacher, or leaning into teachings that we have in order to gain greater clarity. And also, since this is, you know, a giant tree here, I feel like grounding is showing up for you pretty big here. And so in order to, you know, maybe one of the reasons that you're not seeing the answer that's right there is because you are not entirely grounded in the present moment. Now, with regards to your emotions, we currently have that you are in this 8 of Visions, which is the 8 of Cups. Now, the 8 of Cups is indicative of recognizing that we have experienced some loss, that things haven't worked out, there have been disappointments, there's been loss, there's been grieving, there's been unhealthy patterns, but we have become aware of that, and we are intentionally moving forward towards things that are more healthful for us and more in alignment with what we want to manifest in our life. So that's your current energy, is that 8 of Cups. And what's coming for future energy is the Temperance card, which in this deck is known as the Forge. And that's some pretty gorgeous energy, because that means that as you are moving out of this space of choosing the emotional truths and the emotional connections that you want to have, rather than just responding and kind of like getting rid of some old baggage and really trying to move forward, you know, the energy coming towards you is really successful in that. Like, the Temperance card is a card of deep healing, and it's also about having an understanding that we already have all of the elements available to us to enable our own healing, and the Temperance card is that moment when we have clarity over how to put those together and create something new, strong, and amazing. And your advice from your guides during this time is the Strength card. So just keep showing up for yourself with compassion, with care, with gentleness, and that will aid you through this healing process. Now, with the fire element, we have the current energy showing up as the Child of Spells. So fire being all about your passions and your inspirations and your motivations. And so it feels like there's been something new that's come into this space for you that's inspiring childlike interest. Like, it's like a new toy that you want to play with in a way. So maybe you've just had a recent strike of inspiration and it's not really matured yet, and you're not really sure where it's going to be going, but you've been doing a little bit of playing, right? And the 3 of Challenges is that the energy that's coming towards you. And so, like, while you're playing in this realm, there might be some stuff that comes up that's going to bring up some grieving. So whether this can be because of something that's happening in the external world or just something that's happening within your own psyche, you know, time will tell. But this is going to be bringing up some grief for you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Grief is, I mean, in my opinion, grief is one of the things in our culture that we just do not pay enough attention to. When we think of grief, we tend to think of it only as the big bad heartbreaks, the loss of a loved one or something like that, or those very deep challenges. But grief is something that we experience in small ways every day, and a lot of times we repress it so that when it does finally get to be something that we deal with, it feels very overwhelming because we've been pressing it down and pressing it down. So even though this is the Three of Swords, I don't want you to take heart or lose heart, because I feel like this is going to be just an opportunity for you to do a little bit of healing. Like, it's going to be bringing up some disappointments and some difficulties that you maybe haven't really been paying attention to, that you've been kind of like compartmentalizing. And your guide's advice during this time is the Nine of Swords. Learning how to have some discernment over our boundaries, learning how to recognize that we're even allowed to have boundaries. And so I'm curious if this heartbreak is going to involve another person. And it may be that, you know, as you're playing around with this new inspiration, as you have found this new thing that motivates you and makes you feel really excited, it could also be that people around you are telling you that, no, this isn't something that you should do. And that feels very disappointing. It makes you feel like you're not being heard. It kind of does feel like a stab in the heart when the people that we expect or want or would wish to show up and support us aren't able to do that, and instead they give us the rough side of their tongues, or tell us that there's something wrong with us, or tell us that there's something wrong with what we're doing. And so sometimes that just shows up as an opportunity for us to have a little bit more discernment over us versus everybody else. Having those boundaries where we clearly know where we end and the rest of the world begins, because sometimes that can be a very permeable boundary, and it can be difficult to lose sight of what's me and what's not me. Now, in the element of Pentacles, which is what we're actually doing, your current energy is showing up as the Seven of Spells, really trying to show up as your unique self and stand out from the crowd and live your truth. That's kind of what's coming to mind, is living your truth. And the energy coming towards you is the moonlight. So this is going to clarify some things, but also leave some things a little bit unclear. There's going to be an air of mystery. And so it's kind of like, as you step out into the space of being uniquely you and really owning your power and being empowered in and of yourself, this is going to bring up opportunities for you to tune into your intuition and to tune into the magic that the moon has to offer. And what your guides are advising during that time is to embrace that Seeker of Visions energy. Seeker of Visions is the Knight of Wands. So seeking that energy, or showing up with that energy of staying steadfast to your own deeply held emotional truth. So you're in this place now, you're moving to the place where this is going to inspire more magic and more opportunities, although there will be a lack of clarity in some of that. And your guides are saying to just stick with it, just keep showing up for the things that feel as though they resonate with you, and just keep doing the work. Okay, now we're going to pull before I send y'all on your way, we are going to pull a few last oracle cards to get some final advice and things to keep in mind from our guides. So first off here, we have the Shifting card. So your guides are wanting you to understand that the energy is shifting around you, and that's okay. It's not everything falling apart, it's just things moving. And again, showing up for yourself, showing up with your boundaries with yourself or with others, can be really helpful to keep you grounded during a process where there is a lot of shifting happening. Next we have amplify your positive emotions. And I think that this is really important to remember, because sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel good. Sometimes, particularly if we are in a place where we are often compartmentalizing and putting things aside and repressing our emotions, we won't actually even do that with the good feelings that we have. And so your guides are inviting you to go ahead and lean into the things that resonate for you. Lean into the things that feel good to you and allow that to move beyond you into the world around you. So when you're feeling good, laugh, and maybe somebody will hear you laugh, and that will inspire a little bit of happiness in them. So it's kind of that feeling of like putting your positivity out into the world when it shows up. It's not showing up with fake positivity, it's allowing your natural occurring positivity to show in the world around you. And then as a final oracle card, we are going to pull an animal oracle card. So your guides can just, again, give one final message to send you on your way about an animal that you might want to keep your eye out for or try to embody and embrace in some way. And we have here the elephant spirit, learning from our past. And not only learning from our past, but also moving beyond our past, recognizing that the past is what has brought us to this moment. But in this moment, we have agency, we have autonomy, and we have choice. So we can take those experiences from our past and use them to shift what occurs in the future. Again, kind of bringing up that shifting energy. So water babies, I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope it's been fun and inspirational. Please take what resonates as always and leave the rest. And of course, I look forward to seeing you next time. But until then, please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. Hello, Group 3. If you selected the element of fire for your reading this week, then this one is for you. And we're going to be looking at a variety of things. So without any ado, let's just go ahead and move right into it. Oop. Oh, I feel like sometimes I could use a bigger table. All right, so first thing we have here is that in your air element, which this is the way we're thinking, I see that you're currently kind of showing up, trying to maintain balance and move yourself forward, get done what needs to be done, regardless of the fact that chaos from the outside environment might be coming towards you. So the Two of Pentacles is really trying to stay balanced, even though situations may be outside of our control in the outside realm. Energy coming towards you in the realm of thinking is, so I wonder, actually I'm going to just back up and go back to this card for a second. So what I am wondering is if maybe in the way that you think about things, you've been trying to maintain and the world keeps just giving you new information and you're trying to sort of discount it in a way and trying to just stay you and stay on your path. And the energy that's coming forward is that you're still going to be doing the work. You're still going to be putting in the effort to get a better understanding of how to show up as yourself and move forward, even when life kind of shows some pretty major chaos coming at you. And the advice from your guides in the realm of air is the Six of Challenges, is to, when things do start to feel a little overwhelming, that it's okay to remove yourself from the situation and just wait for things to calm down when you can get a better handle on it. So in the realm of thinking, this could specifically show up that, you're doing the work, you're just going ahead and living your life, and like there's new information coming at you. You're trying to decide whether you want to include that new information into your internal logic, and you're kind of doing the work, spinning the web, and making it happen. And your guides are saying, hey, sometimes when things feel overwhelming, you don't have to make a decision right now. You can kind of put that on the shelf and decide about that later once you're feeling a little bit more grounded. In the realm of emotions, we have your current energy showing up as the Weaver of Spells, which this is the Queen of Wands. So it feels like in your emotional place that you've been experiencing a lot of inspiration lately, that you've been feeling very passionate about your emotions lately and really trying to have sort of mastery over them and an understanding of the dynamic you that you are. And the energy coming towards you is the Fairy Wind, which is also known as the Chariot card. And so there's a new understanding, like a new clarity that you're going to be getting over your emotional self that's coming towards you. And your guides are advising that when that happens, when you do have that forward movement, when you do have that clarity showing up for you, that is going to bring a new opportunity, like a new Pentacles opportunity, like a new actual opportunity to your door from the universe. And so your guides just wanting you to keep your eye open for that. In the realm of fire, we have your current card showing up as the Council of Animals. And this is also known as the Judgment card. And, you know, it's interesting. I feel like since this is showing up in fire, it kind of makes me wonder if some of your inspirations haven't been something that you're, like, it feels like literally a call, like you're getting the call, you're getting the call to, like, this is big energy, like a big idea, something that is really inspiring you in a really big way, and it feels very purposeful and very deep and important to you. Now, the energy that's going to be coming towards you is the strength energy. So that's pretty awesome, because you're moving from this place of having this big shift happen, and then moving into this place of having success with it, provided that we remember to show up with compassion and care rather than trying to brute force things into the way we think they should be. So this is more showing up with strength in the energy of allowing and guiding things to happen, rather than forcing things to happen. And your guides' advice from this realm is the Four of Cups, is to just, I guess, have a little bit of stillness and have a little bit of just waiting, but also, yeah, allowing. There is very much this energy of, like, almost passively allowing, in a way that this is less about you needing to do a particular thing or make a particular thing happen, so much as just letting it happen, like releasing resistance to letting it happen. Now, in the realm of Pentacles, what we see coming right now, or what we see right now, is the Three of Visions. It seems like you are collaborating and co-creating with something. And energy that's coming towards you is the Liar, which is also known as the Devil. So something about this collaboration that you've been working on, this co-creation, is going to be poking on some stuff. And whether that can be that there's an interpersonal dynamic that turns out to be not as healthful as you thought it was, or whether it's an internal dynamic that turns out to be not as healthful. So maybe you're recognizing some unhealthy behaviors in the way that you think about yourself or the way that you think about the world, or maybe it could be addictions, or just unhelpful patterns. So something about this collaboration is going to provide some greater clarity about this Devil card. And what your guides are advising during that time is the Knight of Challenge, which is also known as the Knight of Swords. And he is, you know, your guides, by bringing that card out, are inviting you to use the Sword of Truth to see if you can discern where that devil energy is coming from. So there is, you know, there is some discernment that's going to be required here, and your guides are inviting you to lean into that discernment with your logic, with your understanding of things. So maybe this is, you know, kind of advising also that, like, as that devil energy comes up and sort of pushes on things, that it would, you know, likely be best served to, rather than reacting to that in a way where there's a lot of emotionality, to instead try and put your logic in mind and have, like, real discernment in a way that kind of tracks. I hope that makes sense. I feel like that's kind of an abstract idea that I'm trying to get out, and I'm not sure if I'm expressing it exactly correctly, but regardless, your guides are asking you to use discernment. So next, before I send you on your way, we are going to look at what are we going to look at? We are going to look at a few more oracle cards. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a moment. All right, so we're going to get a few oracle cards, last messages from your guides before we send you on your way. And first one that comes out is prayers. So whether, not everybody prays in the traditional way, but whether that's meditating, whether that's mindful contemplation, whether it is actual prayer, you are being invited to tune into yourself and tune into, if you have some sort of divinity that you ascribe to, then you're being asked to tune into that. Even if you don't have any kind of divinity that you ascribe to, you are being asked to connect with your own internal wisdom. Next, for an oracle card, we have intuition, which is funny. I think I just said that. So again, you are being invited to tune into yourself, which is interesting. I feel like, well, we'll see what card comes out for animals, but I feel like for an animal oracle, but I feel like your guides are really asking you to get your own answers here. So I wonder if you are a person who maybe you do rely on the group around you to tell you how to feel, tell you what to do, tell you what to think, and you are very amenable to being influenced by what people around you have to say. Your guides are showing up and instead inviting you to really tune into your own self and tune into your own thoughts and your own intuition and your own higher self. And then as a final card, we have the koi fish spirit. There is always enough. So if any of the stuff that you've been dealing with, particularly with that devil card coming up, if that's bringing up feelings of lack in any way, or making you feel like life is somehow a zero-sum game, where if this person does well, it means that I have to do poorly, or if this person wins, it means that I have to lose, or if I win, it means that this person has to lose. The universe is inviting you to have a more expansive idea of the way energy works, and to recognize that this isn't a zero-sum game. There is always enough. And it's more a situation where I always think of that Lizzo song, if I'm shining, everybody's gonna shine. So it's that energy of when I do well, when I bring my own vibration up, rather than that causing other people's vibrations to go down, it's actually what happens is that allows other people's vibrations to move up as well, because the energy that I'm emitting out into the world kind of falls off into our astral space around us and has impacts on those. And it's really easy to see too. Like, if it sounds like I'm being a little too woo, just imagine that you walk into an empty room and you're just you. And then one of your close friends comes in, and this close friend is laughing and they're excited and they're happy, and you're likely to catch a little bit of that. And if somebody comes into the room and they're feeling very sad and they're feeling very distraught, you're also likely to catch a little bit of that. And so the way that we show up in the world does absolutely influence the way the world around us responds. This is not inviting anybody to repress negative feelings or repress difficult feelings because they don't want to put negativity in the world. It's all just energy. It's all just energy. But the point is that when you are in a state of positivity, when you're in a state of growth, the universe just wants you to remember that if you struggle with feelings of lack or limited beliefs, then your guides are just wanting you to remember that there is plenty of abundance available in the universe. So I hope you found this helpful and inspirational. Group 3, my watery, or no, I'm sorry, this is fire friends. Sorry, fire friends. And please feel free to leave a comment. Don't forget to take what resonates and leave the rest. And as always, be kind and gentle with yourself. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Hello, Earth friends. If you selected the element of Earth for this week, then this, in fact, is your reading. So we are just going to go ahead and dive right in and see what we see. So like I said, we're going to be looking at all of the elements, air, water, fire, and earth, and see how that is showing up in your space. So we've got the Keeper of Visions, the Hermit. Ooh, nice. Nice. Okay, so first card we have is that we're looking at air first. So this is looking at the way you're thinking about things. And the current energy that you are embodying is the Keeper of Visions, which this is known as the King of Cups. And so you're currently in this place where even though it may feel like there's some chaos happening around you, you're swimming just fine through those waters. So maybe, and again, this is in the realm of thoughts, so it feels like your thoughts are in a pretty good place right now, and it feels as though you're kind of in that place where, because the kings are all, they're masculine energy, they're, which has nothing to do with gender, that's just very forward moving energy. It's very dynamic energy, whereas the feminine energy tends to be more receptive. This is more active. So I do feel like your thoughts are feeling pretty good right now. Like, it feels as though there might be some chaos happening around you, but that you're holding your own, and you are really kind of showing up for that in a way that allows you to stay present. Now, what I see coming towards you is hermit energy. So maybe it's this chaos that's happening around you, but for some reason, you've got enough kind of stability happening that you are going to be moving into this place of going within and trying to find a truth. And what's interesting is that the advice from your guides is the white heart, which is the fool energy. And so you're being invited to take a leap of faith. So have a new way of thinking about things. Kind of that hermit energy is sort of like intentionally removing ourselves from what other people think in this case, so that we can find our own inner light. And your guides are really inviting you to take a leap with doing that, and to show up with some bravery and some vulnerability and a spirit of adventure. Now, in the element of water, the first card we have showing up for your current energy is the Six of Cups. So maybe you've been looking back on your past lately, you've been thinking about your childhood, or maybe not your childhood, but just your previous experiences, and maybe doing some ruminating, right? Now, the energy that's coming towards you is going to be that you're just kind of moving blithely along, and unbeknownst to you, there is a troll that's going to create some chaos for you. Not necessarily a literal troll, but it does feel as though, like, as you are coming out of this space of ruminating about the past, or thinking about the past, or processing something about the past, or maybe even just getting in touch with your own inner child, that might bring up a little bit of chaos and make things feel a little bit like you're trying really hard to move forward and carry the load, but feels as though the ground is a little unstable underneath you. And the advice for that is your guides want you to remember that you do have this Nine of Pentacles energy, that you are self-reliant and whole already. And being whole doesn't mean that we are perfectly healed. It just means that even when we are not perfectly healed, we are still whole all the time. We are whole. And we have tools available to us to recognize our own independence and our own self-reliance and our own self-abundance. It's not just that this person is self-reliant and that they are independent. It's that they are thriving in that energy of independence. And so your guides are asking you, as you move out of ruminating about the past towards moving towards the future, your guides are inviting you to embrace this energy of self-reliance and having your own back, and knowing that you have your own back, knowing that you've got the skills. So your guides are really inviting you to show up for yourself, and rather than falling in a state of maybe self-questioning or self-loathing, they are instead asking you to show up with props for yourself, really showing up to give yourself the compassion and the encouragement. Now, in the realm of fire, we have that if in the realm of inspiration or the realm of passion, there's a lot of anxiety coming up for you right now. There's a lot of fear, and maybe that's fear over really embracing your passions or embracing your motivations. Sometimes that can certainly be something that comes up when we are in a place where the things that inspire us and motivate us are maybe a little bit outside the realm of what everybody else is doing. So, like, say for example, like even me with this tarot channel, like, it took me almost 2 years of thinking about it before I moved into the place. And one of the things that I had to deal with during that time was my perceived anxiety and fear over how other people would respond, right? Because the Nine of Challenges is all about the way that we think. So something in your realm of passion and motivation is kicking up some anxiety and some fear. But the energy that's coming towards you, this is just really fucking awesome, is the Two of Spells, which is all about setting intentions. So you're not going to succumb to these feelings of anxiety. No, 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 no. Instead, you're going to set your intentions on how to manage those feelings of anxiety, because this thing that is inspiring you and that does motivate you resonates deeply enough that it's worth it to you. Even just, it's worth it to you to work through the fears, work through the anxiety, and set your intentions for how to better manage that and allow that manifestation of that passion, that inspiration, that motivation to come out a bit more. And your guides are inviting you to dream big. They're inviting you to reach towards your full cups. So I kind of get the feeling like moving from this Nine of Swords energy into the Ten of Cups energy is really where your guides are inviting you to be. They're inviting you to be heart focused with regards to the way you connect to your motivations and your passions, which is pretty amazing. Like, who doesn't want a field full of unicorns? That's all I'm going to say. Now, in the realm of Pentacles, we have that your current energy is showing up as the Ten of Spells. Now, Pentacles, of course, is what we're actually doing. That's what we're doing in the real world. So it does feel like maybe there's a feeling of exhaustion. Maybe you've been doing an awful lot of stuff and it feels a little overwhelming and it feels a little tiring. It feels like you have just been dancing all night. And it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. There's some overwhelm there. But what's interesting is that what is coming towards you is the Child of Visions. So this is the Page of Cups. So like new love, new emotionality, and new emotional truth that feels as though it inspires your inner child. It feels as though it brings about a childlike joy and a spirit of curiosity in you. So moving out of that space of overwhelm and into that space of like joyful curiosity is kind of a big shift. And where your guides are advising for that time is maybe this is an opportunity for you to co-create. Maybe if you've been trying to handle it all yourself, that can be pretty overwhelming. And that just by acknowledging you don't have to do it all yourself, you can have what you can have, but you know, you can allow your heart to be open to others helping you, and leaning into that spirit of co-creating and collaborating with others can be really helpful in navigating that energy of overwhelm. Kind of leaning into our community. We all got to do it, right? We all need help sometimes. Sometimes this isn't even necessarily about help. This is about co-creating. So it's not somebody showing up and giving you the gift of helping you. It's like co-creating is when all of the parties are getting something out of it. So there's an equilibrium to it. It's a simultaneous giving and taking rather than a giving or taking. It's kind of all happening at once. Now, before I send you on your way, we are going to do just a final few oracle cards from our guides to get some final advice. So we've got here first, we have the vibrational card. So again, vibrations are on the move, and you are, you know, I wonder if you're a meditator, then if you've ever done any of the meditations with the different sound frequencies, that might be something that your guides are inviting you to do, and that can be helpful in aligning your energy, and also just giving yourself the space to have a little bit of downtime. Does seem as though there's kind of a lot going on and lots of new opportunities, you know, like what your guides overall are advising is leaning into being vulnerable and taking that leap of faith with the Fool card, recognizing that you are self-reliant and whole, and that you do have the capability to thrive. Reaching for the Ten of Cups energy and allowing yourself to dream, and allowing yourself to recognize that you have dreams and that those dreams are worthy of you. And then also co-collaborating. So there's a lot of high vibe stuff happening here. And your guides are inviting you to just acknowledge that. Next, for an oracle card, we have illumination. So this really is a leveling up for you. Things are going to become more clear as we reach towards taking leaps of faith, as we reach towards our Ten of Cups energy and really tune in with the things that vibrate for us, that resonate deeply in our soul. Then that is when things often become more clear and become more illuminated for us. And as a final card, an animal oracle, we have for you the koala spirit, just reminding you that spirit does have a plan, and these things happen for us, not to us, even when it's really hard to recognize that. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found this inspirational, and I look forward to seeing you next time. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest, and don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. See you soon.